So you made a mirroring.
Yeah.
You remove the mirroring.
No, I let it there because it's not a PowerPoint presentation with speaker notes. So
when is so
when
you need to deactivate mirroring when it's a PowerPoint presentation.
PowerPoint, I mean with speaker notes.
With speaker notes, what's that?
Yeah.
What is a speaker note?
You never did a PowerPoint presentation. You can put notes for yourself.
But on the presentation, you mean?
Yeah. So if.
But just because of the speaker notes, most of the presentations they don't do speaker notes.
Most of the people put speaker notes.
On the where?
The PowerPoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
the people who do it here, most of them have speaker notes.
Well, in those talks on Tuesday,
yeah,
I never seen notes. For example, the Argentinian guy.
He had notes.
Did he have notes?
Yeah. That's why we did the turn of memory, and we record the second screen, not the first screen, because on his screen he has the notes, and we want to record what people are seeing.
He what?
He had notes on his computer. So
okay.
We don't want to broadcast that. We want to show the.
All right. So it's just because you don't want to broadcast your notes.
Yeah. It's just for the speakers. And can we go to see if it works? There. If we go to. Yeah, so yeah. I guess we just have to hope. The proxy is not working. It's fine on work.
For each tab you need a proxy again?
I don't know. That's strange.
This is right.
No, it's working. Yeah. I guess we just have to hope. Okay. Yeah, I think most of the time they have all the notes here, so they know what to say for this slide. I mean, half of the time, not most of half of the time.
They have notes.
Yeah.
So what you record is what you record?
The second screen.
The second screen.
Because even if we are in mirroring mode, for some reason it's gonna record the notes. Yeah. Because it thinks if we are in mirroring mode, it thinks there is only one screen, so it's gonna record the main screen.
The main screen,
which is the computer screen.
And is that going to record the notes?
It records the notes.
It records the notes.
If we are in mirroring.
If we are.
Yeah.
But then, so you specify in Google Hangout what screen you want to record.
But if we're in mirroring Hangout, he doesn't have the second screen option.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know that it was because of the notes.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I just thought that you wanted to record the second screen.
No, it was for the notes.
Well, it looks great from here.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I use this iPad more?
Huh?
I had my iPad. I use it. Sometimes I don't have battery.
Yeah.
Can I use this?
Yeah. Nobody uses this one. Maybe we don't do anything. The proxy is working? Or? You have two people watching you. They can listen to your voice. Yeah. So maybe we'll wait for that. Not for. So,
Safari is working.
Safari, but not Chrome.
Since I saw my how are you?
Really?
Not yet.
11:05.
Yeah, should be coming soon. Last time they were busy.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone. I mean, did anyone say they'd be coming?
I mean, Marie at least.
Marie?
Who? Marie, yeah.
Yeah, she's sitting up there by her
Yeah.
computer, happily chatting away like every day is holiday.
You're gonna grab them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at least Marie and Alexander wanted to see. Yeah.
What did he say? A bit about money.
I don't know how much you can They are watching from inside. Yeah, so the video, when you play it, you can make it full screen. So first you have to make it full screen and play it, and after you have the option to make it slow. That's funny. Just through YouTube. So there are some people connected inside. Yeah. But some guys from here from MIT.
Sorry, I thought it was at 12. I'm just, it's Friday. What can I say? There's some other people coming.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it was at 12?
I thought it was at 12, but
Okay.
I get these things fixed in my head and then I don't again. Sorry. So I think Alex and Ethan will come.
Okay.
And maybe Thea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are also already some persons right now on the website.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we have the room only until 12.
Okay.
At 12, some people are going to come here to take the room.
Oh, okay.
Today we
So,
cannot
yeah,
stay later.
I never read them.
It should be quite short, the presentation. You never know.
I'm glad it's Friday.
I'm tired too.
Yeah, it's been kind of busy. In the summer, my son is home from school, so I have to. He doesn't have his driver's license yet, so I have to drive him to work, and he always makes me late.
To work.
Yeah, just because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wake up, and he's slow, and he's like, well,
And how
and he
old?
loses his phone. Well, he just works over at VU.
Okay.
So I have to drive him.
Right.
But he forgets his phone. We get halfway down the road. I forgot my something.
But how old is he?
He's 19.
19?
Yeah. He lives in another world.
At
He's somewhere
this
else.
age.
Yeah. College student, so he's just like, doesn't know what he's doing.
Do you know if Rodolphe was coming downstairs?
Yeah, he was getting coffee.
Oh, okay. We'll just wait for him.
But you must get their own license.
I know. He doesn't want to drive. He says it's easier if somebody drives me.
Oh, yeah.
Lazy thing, you.
Wow. So it seems there was a confusion. Everyone thought it was 12. You
were chasing people around. Oh, you must go one now.
I thought I was 11.
or I'm just
I guess we can get started. Everybody's ready? Yeah. So today we're going to show you how to use the Fetal, the three-plane Fetal reconstruction tools inside Chris. So I think the presentation is going to be short, so we have more time for questions. And at 12 we have to leave the room, so that's good. Okay, so first of all, we will go through very briefly, we will go through the previous talks, just as a reminder, and after we will talk about the fetal reconstruction. So, as you may remember, there are a lot of Unix commands you might or not be familiar with. I hope by now you are. So here is a brief list. You can use cd to change directories, pwd to print the working directory, and so on. And once again, it's very useful to know those commands because they make you much more efficient.
So does everyone here kind of know the directory tree structure? It's not just Unix file systems, right? I mean, Unix being Linux and Mac, it's everything Windows as well. We know there's a tree structure. Everyone knows that, right? And that the desktop is just a directory in that tree. So there's nothing magical about it as well. They just make it so that whenever you log in, the interface shows you the contents of one special directory, which is called your desktop, but it's just on the directory in the tree of your own directory. I mean, basically the most important commands, really, as far as I'm concerned, just CD to move around the tree and ls to see what's inside each directory. So without those, you
Yeah. So anybody has any question about any commands they didn't know how to use or anything? No. Okay, right. So after this one, we talked about the cluster, how you should use it, and the way you are supposed to use it. Yeah. So basically, we have 3 main commands you might find useful, which are mosmon, which is gonna tell you which is the status of the cluster, if it's busy, not busy, which nodes are busy, which nodes are not busy. You can use mosbatch to schedule a job on the cluster, and you can use mosqueue and actually mosqueue-listall to see the status of the queue, to know if you submit a job, is it gonna run right now or is it gonna run after those 10 jobs have been finished. So I think that's it pretty much about the main cluster things. So did any of you try to use a cluster yet with MATLAB, the compiled version?
Ah, yeah. Did it work? Finally?
No?
So it compiled something, but then it wouldn't run. And I'm not sure why. And we were saying because it's calling on MATLAB or SPM, some SPM stuff. So I don't know if that was the problem.
Yeah, you need to include a directory where SPM is. All
Yeah, that's in the. So that's in this.
in the minus I of yeah.
Oh, in the option.
When you compile,
Compile. Oh, okay.
there is a minus I option in which you specify the directory or MATLAB files you want to include.
Oh, so if like your MATLAB thing that you're compiling uses functions or scripts that are in multiple directories,
Yeah,
you have to actually on the compile say minus I in each
Minus
directory. Okay, so
So
maybe
it's
that.
not enough to just have it in the MATLAB script.
no.
Wait,
In the MATLAB path, no.
To have it like set tasks.
No.
Okay.
You have to specify then with the minus I option. And also, SPM doesn't have any C library or something like that. A MEX file.
They should
Does-
have
it should-
I don't think they should have compiled the next one.
Find several minus I files.
Yeah, there's a
directories.
ton of folders, there's a lot of folders involved in that, like a specific script.
It's a lot of subdirectories.
Yeah,
directories.
You like have, because you do like all the pre-processing and processing, and then including all the segmentation, alignment, and you in the SPM, but itself it have a lot of folders.
Yes, that's SPM.
SPM, yeah. I don't know because you probably didn't have experience with SPM here. Yeah, it's a big toolbox. It's
Yeah,
in the MATLAB.
but it usually doesn't have too much subdirectories. It's just the main
You
subdirectory.
have lots of like plugging some different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
So then the other alternative is to not. You can still leverage a scheduler in the cluster without compiling the MATLAB script. And on the wiki page there are two solutions. One is when you compile, and the other is when you kind of write a custom wrapper script, because that custom wrapper script you can schedule. And that custom wrapper script kind of calls MATLAB, and the first thing it does, it executes. It just as one line. It basically starts MATLAB and it says MATLAB whatever minus E or something. And then in quotes you have whatever you would type in MATLAB to start, and then off it goes. But you have to write that wrapper script. But there's an example on that page.
Yeah, because we should really get it working because it's gonna be much better for everybody if it works.
This is something with our lab we use a lot.
Yeah.
Now the cluster has 8 machines right now. Yesterday we included another one. The new cluster. We're together both clusters.
Yeah. So there are 2 clusters. Right now, Chris runs everything on the new cluster. The old cluster which you guys have always been logging into.
Right.
And where it's been very hectic for lots of reasons. But we're migrating each of the old nodes into a new super cluster. So there'll be 12 nodes available soon.
Yeah. So if nobody has any more questions, we are ready to start. All right. So first, I don't know if you are familiar with the problem with the fetal motion MRI scans. So we will just go quickly through what are the problems, basically, and after we will show you how to fix those. So this is the main issue. When you acquire fetal data, the baby is moving. So due to the acquisition time, the data is very blurry, kind of corrupted. So the data is not usable in its state. So we need a solution for that. So the solution is to get as much data as we can in as many directions as possible. So in general, we recommend to have 9 scans of the baby's brain in 9 different directions, and from those nine scans, we can run a reconstruction algorithm, which is going to reconstruct the data and make it look nice and make it usable. And the technique we are using has been developed by Dr. Maria Murgatsova. She came last summer to visit us. I don't know if you met her, but yeah, she has been very helpful with that. So yeah, I think this is a real problem. This data is not usable, so we have to do something about it if we want to be able to look at the baby's at the fetus brain scans. And the solution is to get as much data as possible, and after we will put all this data inside this algorithm, and it's gonna fix it for us. Do you have any questions so far?
My question would be, well, are those babies like, I guess it's because usually if women is pregnant,
yeah,
you wouldn't want to put them into the MRI scanner.
No, it's a special.
And the reason to scan those, I guess, as suspicious of they have some neurological.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but
yeah, so they, yeah, that's exactly. If they suspect something, but this is a side point, right?
Yeah.
There's no. In Europe, there's the routine MRIs of pregnant women. It's the US that has an issue. Yeah, there's no scientific evidence that says anything wrong. It's just that.
Yeah, there's no evidence that says there isn't anything wrong with it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I remember we did MRI screening sheet. We would ask them if they're pregnant or not.
There's no evidence that indicates that there's anything bad doing it.
It's non-invasive. It's totally non-invasive.
People are scared of ultrasound.
Yeah, because you can heat the tissue.
Well, yeah, if you sit there and do it for hours and put the thing all the way in full power, maybe it'll heat a little bit. But yes, people are scared of ultrasound, so I'm not surprised if they're scared of it.
Right.
The only thing I've heard people that know about MRI be concerned about is the noise.
Yeah.
So loud.
I don't know. So
without earplugs.
So here is a link to the paper which details the reconstruction methods. So we will make this presentation available online, so after you can go back there and have a look. And it's actually a nice paper. All right, so we know what's wrong now, so how do we fix that? And Jorge is going to tell you.
Well, it's just watching
a
video where there are 2 ways of performing currently the fetal motion correction. One is using Chris, and the other is outside Chris. So, well, we are going to show you a video how to do it in Chris, roughly. So
we have to do this presentation for some proposals.
Oops.
It walks you through the fetal motion correction in Chris. So.
I'm quite well then.
Chris looks really nice. It's different today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in a very low rate so you can watch it.
Yeah.
You will appreciate the new features we have introduced in Chris. Well, this is Chris. Maybe some of you doesn't have. Yeah.
It is slow motion, so you have time to do that. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, so have you seen this? Have you seen Chris before?
Yeah.
You work, so you guys know all this stuff, right? There's plugins, which you know, there's feeds. It's just part of a promotional video that we put together for a different presentation.
What's the lab book?
Well, this is Chris. We
Chris.
call it lab book.
Lab
We
book.
always called it Chris, and then we thought maybe we should call it lab book. It sounds more cool, but I think everyone prefers the name Chris. Yeah, I do too.
So the first thing is to pull the image data. You need to pull the image data, of course, from the pack. Using the pack's pool.
Yeah, so you can pull your MRNs from anywhere. Here's just a text file. It could be an Excel spreadsheet, it can be an email, whatever. Anything that you can select, copy, paste, you just drop it in, paste it in there. And you just... this little thing that's clicked now is just for display purposes, because otherwise it will show all the MRN stuff in this table. If you click that little button over there for a presentation, it puts access for the name. So that's that reason. If you double click on an interactive plugin, now it makes the expands to be the whole screen. Make it go a bit faster. Can you speed up for speed? It doesn't have to be so slow.
Yeah.
Yes, so not this part. You know, when you have a table, you can type in some text.
But you prefer it faster?
Yes.
The users of the
You can type in any text, and it'll just filter on that text. We added a new button on the top right, which selects everything that's in the table. Previously, it wasn't there. And you know, then it pulls everything that you've selected.
So I don't know if you remember, Daniel, at some point you had an issue because you were trying to download like 50 data sets at the same time or hundreds. So now it should be working.
Yeah, that's been fixed too.
There's something, I have a question, like, let's say I want to run all those data sets through one of the plugins.
Yeah,
and then
you'll see.
Oh, you can.
It always was able to match. Just we have to make it a bit more user friendly, but you'll see.
So now you see the data is there.
So those are all the haste protocols, which is usually what we use for the Fetal. I mean, this stuff you can click on any individual file to view it quickly, which you'll probably know as well. But now we've expanded.
Interesting. You can use that to the computer.
Oh, yeah. Now what you can do is the guys built this visualizer inside Chris, which used to be the old slice routes. Now it's actually inside Chris. It gives you the same tree on the left in that little panel, and now you can view the stuff inside Chris without having to jump to the tab. You can't see one over here, but this is just see the stripes and the motion. So this is the stuff we want to fix. Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of a promotional thing. So yeah, you can write notes on each file, use speed to say what's going on here. If you felt like it saves it.
So actually, what
You can make it go faster.
Well, I just wanted to stop here.
Oh, okay.
Because just to tell you that actually the way in which currently you perform the motion correction increase is after you pull the image data, you actually apply the MRI convert plugin to the result of the PAX pool. So because you need the images to be converted to NII, and then you need to choose the best image for creating a template, to create it in play. And for that, the viewer is very useful because you will have all your images there. You saw the tree. Well, I want to, maybe it appears again. You saw all the images on the tree. You can easily choose one of them and go over all the images and choose the best. So for that type of task, it's very useful, the new viewer plugin.
Okay, so just pause it here quickly.
Yeah, here. You see? What's that?
Just pause it quickly. So that was that's the magic, right, between those two steps that we should talk about, which is once you've gotten the data from PAX.
Pause.
What?
Pause.
What do you want? Sorry. Pause. I don't understand.
It's all right. No, that's fine. Anyway, so what Jorge was saying was that in this viewer now, I mean, we can just play it. This is the other point. You can easily just go pull it back a bit. If you want to select what's the nice looking image, right? Now you can just here you can play. Let's play. Sorry. You can happily click through on the top left, and it'll quickly load them in, and you can see, oh, this is the nicest. This one doesn't look good. You don't have to worry about going to FSL view and doing all that stuff. You can go from inside here. Okay, so we can.
Yeah, if any image doesn't work, just send us a link so we can try it and see why we couldn't do some image for some reason.
So just go back because this is actually what needs to be described. Yeah. So from the PAX, from the data you pulled from the PAX, there was some magic that happened to go from. You see over here. So here are a bunch of new files. It's hard to read what stands in. One of them is called mask.nifty, which is the mask that you made. There are others called coronal or core-2mm.nifty, sag.2, whatever it is, all of those. So those were those original scans that were collected from the PAX, and then just converted to Nifty and renamed like sag 3mm, right? Yeah, or coronal 4mm, whatever it might be. And then one of them, the nicest one is called, what's that nice? Template. The nicest, the one that's the best, it's converted to Nifty and it's called template. And then manually you look through and you make the brain mask and you pull that mask. So those are the steps that currently have to be done outside of Chris. And that's the pre-processing. And that's as hard as it gets. Looking through all of those, renaming them, finding one which is the best, and also then making the mask.
There are some tools we're going to show you after.
Okay. So yeah, now you can.
Resume?
Yeah.
It can also load surfaces and tracks, PTK tracks.
On the left, you will only see the files you can actually visualize, so all the text files or everything is not going to appear in this feed. So everything you see, you can look at it. Things of the feed.
Okay, so once you've done that, currently outside of Chris, and you have your directory tree, you just go to the Fetal Motion plugin, and this little Jurassic, you just drag each folder you want to correct into the same dialog, into that input box. Like that. So now you've done 4 of them at once. And then you just hit start.
So there's no way to say like, I'll take this and write through this and then this. Like, you have to drag each one. See what I'm saying?
Like there's no way to do it sequentially.
Yeah, to say like, these are all my subjects and here's all the DICOM files. I want you to convert it to Nifty and then put it into this next plugin.
Oh, well, no, not like that.
So yeah, after you can look at your results to see. So after the reconstruction, you should have a out.nifty, which is containing the process data.
So yeah, this below is the point. See all the stripes, all the motion. Stripes are fixed.
The one was constructed with 7 acquisitions. So we had 7 bad images to get one strokes.
How long does it take to get that much data?
Sorry?
Like, it's 7 separate.
Yeah.
How long does it take?
You should ask Brian.
I guess that because
A lot?
it's a small head.
Brian would.
Oh, so it's not a lot of slices.
Yeah.
You mean to acquire the scanner?
Yeah.
The scanner. Oh,
I'm just curious.
Chris.
It's a small head.
Yeah.
It's quick, I guess.
Brian.
Yeah.
anyway, so this. Do we need to show this part?
Or you do.
Okay. This is just if you have multiple users, you can share the feed. You guys have that. You take whatever feed you have. The guy on the left is sharing it, and on the right-hand side will suddenly appear that feed. So now there are 2 feeds identical. Whatever nodes are in one, the other one will see, and vice versa. And here it's visualizing it. So both users are choosing the same view. And then, having done that, there's another, at the very top it says collaborate. If you hit that, then 2 browsers, no matter where they are, will link to each other. Well, that means at the same network. And then they will share events between them. So as the one person moves their view, the other one will move in similar. And then what Nicholas added was with a mouse cursor. On the right-hand side, that purple mouse cursor is the reflection of where the cursor is on the left-hand side. That way you can like move your mouse over the image, and then back on the left, the person who's looking at what you're doing can see where you're pointing with your mouse. So you know what's going on. You can chat. Text chat between them.
Right, that's all of this. No? So here we. Where do you have the presentation here? Okay. Well, the last part basically
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we have created a wiki with the exact details of how to perform the the correction, both either using Chris or without using Chris at all. So you can go there and just remark that even when using Chris, there are 3 steps that are required to be done outside Chris. Right now, at the moment, you need to perform all these 3 steps outside Chris. The renaming of the images, choosing after you choose choosing the best image, you do that in Chris, but then you need to rename it and create it as the template. And then create the mask is also something that you need to do outside Chris. But the details are there on the web, on the wiki.
So what's happening, just to reinforce that, is that the way the program works is it looks for name, and it needs to know what the slice thickness is. So you have to actually put it in the name, right? It says -2 millimeters. So you have to do that in each thing that you're using. And then one of them you choose, and you just rename it to template, so it knows this is the one to try and register to. And again, you have to give it the slice thickness, -2 millimeters.
So how many slices?
It depends. It's not too many. 30?
30.
For the whole brain, no, I think it's not that many. Yes.
Maybe segment 1 or something. Sounds good.
What?
It sounds like I don't know. I'm not sure.
So to make the mask, see the first step is downsampling.
Maybe you can check the wiki.
Just a second.
And you do that because otherwise that represents just 30 slices. You don't want to trace the mask on 30 different images. You want to downsample to make it thick. Because you need a rough idea what the mask looks like. So you downsample it, and then you use another tool to.
So this is the wiki. This one to choose. So there are 2 ways. This is the way it is done with Chris. Here's a mask creation.
As Rolf was saying, first we don't sample the image because we don't need we need a mask a bit bigger than the brain, but it doesn't have to be very accurate. It's better more than less, so we just need a rough estimate of the baby's brain. So that's why we don't sample it, because we don't want to do also slices 1 by 1. So here in this case we don't sample it by 7, so we have 7 times less slice to draw.
It will make it easy for you to draw the mask.
Yeah. So with a downsample image, we just start this program called ITK Snap, which is gonna let you create the mask. Basically, it's very I wouldn't say intuitive or user friendly, but once you know how to use it, it's very efficient to create your mask. So yeah, to create the mask, you just have to do those 3 steps, and we can show you how to use ITK Snap if you have any question. And after doing that, we just have to clean up a bit the directory which contains the images and feed it into the Fetal Moco plugin inside Chris, and you should be good to go. But yeah, all the details step by step are here. Hopefully that's all what you need. And if it's not enough, we just let us know and we're gonna update it, so it's gonna be more complete and more useful for people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any questions or something.
I just wonder, like, what studies do you guys have with, like, what are the studies that you use with Fetal?
The what? Sorry, say it again.
What studies do you
Yeah.
have with Fetal? Like, what are you investigating?
Me, nothing. So Mary,
I'm not really sure what I'm looking at yet. I'm just going to try to reconstruct some of the parts of the fetal scans, and I don't know anything about the clinical.
So you basically just get all the clinical data in, and then you just...
I only have like four fetal scans. So see what happens. First, I have to see if I can.
Do you need to contact like, the participants and ask them if they can share it with you guys, or like you can just access?
I'm not sure. I think that these women are probably scamming because I think that something is
right
amiss, and I don't know what anything beyond that. Other than Alan gives me 5 MRNs. Yeah, so we can go do something with them.
That's cool. I mean,
Alexander,
I'll let you know when I find something. I just got them a couple of days ago. So.
I think Alexander is doing some segmentation in Freeview as well from the babies. To create a. Do you know why?
What?
Do you know what is the main purpose of this segmentation?
Yeah, and we are taking the images through the surface development of the fold streets. So I'm working here with the proposals like to compare normal fetals with some heart problem which have less oxygen in the brain. To see what's the difference between the folds with normal fetals and fetals that have less oxygen.
so do you have normal fetal? Like, because if you don't do MRI scan unless there's a suspect, like how do you get normal?
Yeah, there is a pool of fetals that do MRI scanning after the doctor said
Everything is
normal,
fine.
everything is fine. So it's like just a level model. And we have another pool that has some problem.
How many do you have? Probably more than 3, right?
Yeah.
5.
More than 5.
I'm looking for good fetals for motion correction to do some analysis that you have some ones that are difficult to do, some ones for keeping. But there is some ones that you try to do the motion correction but don't work because it moves a lot and there is some lags in the images.
I mean, I'm kind of maybe the question of just Eric, you put money in.
Yeah.
It's what,
Yeah. No.
sometimes,
I was like, I'm gonna do fetal.
sometimes it
So
doesn't.
easy to drag.
But when it does,
Yeah, and
Speaking
yeah.
of fetuses, we're having a party for Emily.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to donate anything, we'll go to Babies R Us over the weekend or by the latest Monday. Send some money up, and I think Andrew has a card.